Hello everyone, today I'm going to walk you through using EasyBib, which is a really robust researching tool that Durant Road purchased that will provide you with an option for finding sources, for keeping track of them, taking notes on them, and planning out future assignments. So to get started, you just go to easybib.com and your account's already created for you. You just use your email address, then your ID number for your password. From there, you're going to want to click on My Projects. And you'll set up folders for each of your classes. And they'll show up along the left side right there. Once you're in each class, you can create new projects. And when you create a project, you put in the name, the subject, and it asks you to create your thesis statement. So it really insists that you keep track of what are you trying to prove at each step. Once you've created a project, you can also share it with others. So you just plug in their email address and it'll give them access to it. Maybe to view, maybe to add comments, but also even to edit. So you can have multiple people collaborating on the same bibliography. So this might be that, or maybe you just share it with your teacher so that they can kind of view your work, give you some feedback. All right, from there, the next step is adding to the bibliography. So what you do is you find a website that you want, you grab the URL, and then you're going to plug it right in here and hit Cite. It's going to search for it, it's going to give you some information, and it's also going to tell you whether website's credible or not. So it's going to walk you through all the steps and tell you what's good and what's not. So it's a nice way to make sure that you're finding actually useful resource. From there, it's going to fill in a lot of the information. Some you might need to plug in yourself. So it's missing the title, so we'll just add that in. We want to check, okay, is there a specific author to this website? It doesn't appear so. So then when you're ready, you hit Create Citation. And it's just going to add it to your list. And it's going to alphabetize, it's going to put it in the correct MLA format, so it's going to do a lot of your work for you. You can add in comments, so add in annotations about why you chose different sources. If you're citing sources later, it'll give you the parenthetical reference, and you can even then hit, so then there's a few things that you can do with it when you're done. You can export, you can print as Microsoft Word, you can save it to Google Docs, to Microsoft's OneDrive, you can email, you can copy and paste, and also you click Analyze, it's going to give you some good data. So it's going to say, okay, the bibliography is pretty good right now. You got two different types of sources, using some databases, most of those are credible, so it's going to give you some useful reports and even go deeper, source by source, what was useful. So that's the first step, is creating the bibliography. So at this point, you have a lot of sources, but you haven't started taking notes yet. So that's where the notebook comes in. And this is going to provide you with a big canvas that you can then work on. So you just double-click anywhere there, and you put in a title for it. You can connect it to the various notes that you've had so far. You pull in direct quotes. You paraphrase, you comment. You can even then start organizing your notes here. And what that's going to do is that's going to then give you these various cards. And at that point, you now have all your notes in these different note cards there. And you can start thinking about, okay, what do they have in common? And you take one, you drag it on top, and it'll start to group them. Say maybe this is all biographies. So you've recorded your notes and you've started to organize, starting to chunk them. This might help prepare you for the next step. And the next step then is, what do you actually do with this information? So on the right, it'll ask you to put in your thesis to remind you. And then you just double click, and this is when you start planning whatever project you might be working on. So then it's going to give you an outline. So maybe you have introduction, body paragraph 1, and so on and so forth, and you can then move them around as well. So maybe there's background information, but we want this up here and we want it over. So you can start to organize that. And what's really cool is you can take these note cards you already have, and maybe the technology is this next body paragraph, and you can kind of pull it right there, and it'll create the bullets right for you. Okay? Same thing, you can share, you can give other people access to view this note cards, but this is when you start organizing your notes. And then when you're ready, you can even click paper, and it'll give you options to create a Google slide, Google spreadsheet, or Google Doc for you already. So EasyBib is going to give you options for how to find good resources, put them together in bibliography, take notes on them, organize those notes, and then start planning for a larger assessment. It's a pretty useful tool. I hope you enjoy it.